Vegeta is going to be entering the God Palace in time to train himself for the Tournament of Power, but how much of an improvement is Vegeta going to have over Goku now that Goku is ready to break past his limits? Welcome Dragon Ball fans to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video, where today I am joined by two very special guests, my friend Devil Artemis and Emish is live, as we're going to be discussing and sharing our thoughts on Vegeta's upcoming role and discussing whether or not we believe he will be bringing something significant to the table. And again, if you guys have different opinions, if your opinion's different than ours, be sure to go ahead and comment down below as to what you guys think. And also, don't forget to also check out Devil Artemis and Emish's Live's channel. I will link their channels down below. Now, boys, we know that finally, at last minute, Vegeta is going to be entering the God Palace, the Room of Spirit and Time, and he's going to be training. But the thing is, we're only running on a few hours of time. So the question is, how much of an improvement can Vegeta make in time to enter the Tournament of Power? Now, I want to start with Devil. Now, Devil, I know that so far, we've seen significant impacts from certain characters, i.e. Majin Buu. He's trained for 2 hours, he's gotten significantly strong, even though he will be wasted. It's sad to see. But we've seen the improvements with Majin Buu, we've seen improvements with with Android 17, we've seen improvements with, Super Saiyan Gohan having to transition into his ultimate form. We've even seen improvements with Goku. Now, I wanted to get your personal thoughts on Vegeta in the fact that how much of an improvement is Vegeta going to make after he steps out of that time chamber? Because again, if you remember, one day on the outside world is equivalent to 1 year in the time chamber. So with only a few hours to spare, how much can Vegeta actually improve before the Tournament of Power begins?
Well, I think that Vegeta, once he enters the time chamber, how much he improves it really depends how far the writers want to take him, but he needs something that's going to rival. He needs to boost up his power to rival Goku in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10, right? Or something near it, anyways. But in the manga, in the Dragon Ball Super manga, Vegeta was seen training in the time chamber, and he mastered. I wouldn't say mastered, but he improved his stamina consumption. Where he was able to burst between Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue.
That is correct, yeah.
And we have yet to see something like that within the anime. So I always say, Saiyans are always persistent, and they always find a way, and they always focus on how to get stronger. There's never really a point in time where they really don't take the opportunity to raise their power if that opportunity arises. So now that Vegeta has the chance to enter the time chamber again, he definitely needs to master that stamina consumption, because like I said before, the manga shows it. We haven't really seen anything like that in the anime, and he knows that was a problem when he fought against Hit.
Right.
He fixed that problem in the manga. Now that he's entering the tournament and he's going to be facing a bunch of people, if he can master his stamina, that's already half the battle. The next one is just to boost his power in general, his power level. To rival Goku. If we have two powerhouses, Goku and Vegeta, I mean, with Goku alone, I mean, he's probably going to be occupied with Jiren and Toppo. And, I know it's going to be a team battle and everything, but if Vegeta was also an intense powerhouse, I mean, not that he isn't already, but I'm talking Goku level, like Kaioken times 10.
Right.
That would definitely, put the eye on the prize. Like Universe 7 would be good. That would be set. So hopefully Vegeta can get that training that he needs to increase that level and master that Super Saiyan Blue form in the time chamber. That's what he needs to do.
It's interesting because right before Goku went off to train with Whis and do his business over on Beerus' world, he asked Vegeta, and for reasons being that his wife was pregnant, but Vegeta casually said no. And what I find fascinating was he had no concern about Goku even catching up in terms of power, or even having to worry about Goku surpassing him, because right before they left, Goku said, well, don't be mad at me when I end up surpassing you. And Vegeta said something along the lines of, okay, we'll see about that. Very, very calmly, insinuating as if he knows something. But then again, we've also seen proof that Vegeta had been training with Whis for many months on secret. So who's to say what he has or has not been doing this entire time? And I agree, he definitely needs something to rival Goku's Kaioken technique, because aside from that, as Super Saiyan Blues, it's hard to distinguish whether or not they're equal right now. If we go back and look at how Vegeta handled Black in his Super Saiyan Rose form, after they went back into the future, he completely just outpaced him. He outbattled him. He beat him into the dirt, even to where Black was very surprised as to how strong Vegeta had gotten. So, Emish, I want to know your thoughts on Vegeta having to come out of the time chamber either significantly more powerful than Goku, either, as we spoke about off camera, possibly being on par. How do you feel about this? And what do you think Vegeta's going to be bringing to the table after he completes this training that he has going on in this God Palace?
I think right now he's the only fighter on Team actually making sense with this training.
Really?
Because, to be honest, they gave Goku the role of literally recruiting every single fighter for Team Universe 7, right? Yeah. Which is okay to an extent, but you would think that potentially that the Hakaishin or the Kaoshin would have some kind of involvement, since they have, you know, their actual position, their reputation as gods is on the line, and they're not getting involved as to who joins the tournament at all. You know, so everything is being put into Goku's hands. Okay, so now that we accept that, Vegeta right now makes the most sense on this team. I would have figured, if I heard something like this was happening, my first reaction, time chamber. Right. I'm going right in there, and I want to get the full year worth. You know what I'm saying? Right. But Vegeta, obviously, they saved that for last minute. It could be for, I think it's for one of two things. They're obviously very clever in the way they formatted this. To have Vegeta go into the time chamber at episode 91, then potentially go to meet up for the Tournament of Power to commence on maybe, I want to say 94, 95, maybe 96, the latest. Right. Right. So basically, it is technically like the last minute, right? Within the last few hours, which it might be bad because maybe that might be their way to explain as to why Vegeta will not surpass Goku even after training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, because according to the opener, you know, everybody is expecting to see something new from Goku, right? Yeah. So if Vegeta does come out and he's now on par with Goku, I don't know about the Kaioken times 10. I think that might be pushing it a little bit, but let's just say on par with him right now, because the way they portray Vegeta, they always portray him to be like one or two steps behind Goku. So let's say he comes out and he's on par, and then they introduce this new thing with Goku. All of a sudden, that puts Vegeta back down a notch. He's no longer on par with Goku. And then after that, it's like, well, okay, Goku has this new thing. Where does that leave Vegeta at this point? How can we have any kind of expectation at all? So I think that could be one way as to why they portrayed it, you know, why they mapped it out this way, where Vegeta decides to go in at episode 91 rather than going in, well, a few episodes ago instead. So that could hinder his results. Or seeing as how if a year's worth of training is a day, right, in the real world, then he has a few hours to train. He can get a pretty decent amount of training in there, and then still come out to be maybe just a little bit ahead of Goku. Maybe just overall his body would be more durable. He would have more stamina, just like they did in the manga, minus the Super Saiyan God concept. So I think people, and what we haven't discussed yet, I haven't seen anybody really discuss it, is the fact that, yes, it's a Royal Rumble, but people are bound to get tired. Even the likes of Goku and Vegeta, they're bound to get tired somewhere along in the tournament, right? We haven't seen them train to that extent. All they've really done is sparred and maybe psychologically prepared, but I'm willing to bet we're going to see, you know, fighters getting tired. I mean, it's a bunch of people coming at you from all different directions. They've never really been in this kind of situation before. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle it. All I'm going to say is I hope that they don't shit on Vegeta's character, especially because right now he's making the most sense. The best thing that you can do is to go into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber to train. It doesn't matter for how long. And it's still apparent that he has a brain. So I just hope that it works out for him, honestly. I'm not sure what to expect. I just want to see him to be able to provide and play a major, major, major role in the success of Team Universe 7.
Now, you spoke about Vegeta potentially catching up to Goku, not to a degree where he surpasses Kaioken, but maybe rivals him in terms of like standard Super Saiyan Blue power. Yes. Then again, the whole thing with Goku is he's pushing that limit and knowing the fact that he does have something even further beyond that what he's displayed against Toppo and several others, which is kind of scary because even after Goku taps into that and he does break past his limits, whatever power he achieves, my question is to the both of you, is it possible for Vegeta to rival that? because it's kind of weird to me that Goku is the only one that seems to be very confident in breaking past his current abilities, but at the same time, it's like, who's to say that Vegeta also can't do the same? Which is why I think that, to a degree, when Vegeta emerges from the time chamber, or wherever it is he's going to be training from, I think that he will be significantly more powerful than how he was before. If anything, I do want to make the conclusion and say that, in my opinion, he may actually be on par with Goku for once, if not stronger. But if Goku uses Kaioken and breaks past his limits, I can't see Vegeta catching up. And that's kind of sad, because thus far in the show, they've been neck and neck. Even at a point after Battle of Gods, when we first saw Vegeta train with Whis, Vegeta was ahead. He was, significantly, because he was there for months. But my question to the both of you is, where do you see Vegeta's placement in this tournament in terms of how far he can go? Because so far in our previous discussions, we've made the assumption, oh, it's going to be Toppo versus Vegeta, it's going to be Vegeta versus Hit again, without contemplating on the idea that, but with 80 people in a ring, you're gonna bound to see 1 versus 5, 2 versus 10. Vegeta, I think, isn't just gonna fight one person head on. It's going to be a slobber knocker. You're gonna see one person having to fight like 10 people off. Without a doubt, I can definitely see Goku having to fight like 15, 20 dudes off by himself because of the amount of people that are gonna be gunning at him and whatnot. But in terms of his placement as a Super Saiyan Blue having to emerge from the time chamber, if you can make a bold prediction as to where you see him fit in this tournament, next to the likes of Ultimate Gohan, next to the likes of Golden Frieza, next to the likes of, Piccolo, where do you see Vegeta's placement in this tournament as a competitor next to Goku?
You direct that towards me?
Both of you, whoever wants to answer.
Okay. I'll say that's the thing. A lot of people are talking about Gohan right now. The fact that Goku has been referencing him as someone to depend on, someone to trust, that everything's going to be okay because we have Gohan. But then they also reference the fact that Gohan is very inexperienced at tournament settings. Krillin pretty much handled him without having to basically physically engage him. That's another thing. Piccolo's always been able to outbest Gohan, so that's not a surprise to me. Not in terms of strength, but overall, he's always been there to put Gohan back into a place where he needs to be. And Gohan usually he does his best when he's pushed towards his lowest, and Piccolo does a very good job at that. I will say though that there's two things to consider. One is the respect for Vegeta, the respect that Vegeta demands, and the respect that we need to give Vegeta as a character would practically tell you that Vegeta would at least make it to the semifinals. That would be very predictable, right? That would be something common for us as a fan base to assume. I would say that they might give Vegeta something that kind of reminds us of what happened in the final explosion, like when he killed himself, he sacrificed himself in the Frieza arc, when he talked down to Frieza and stuff like that. Something to make us say, you know what, Vegeta, he's dead, or Vegeta, he lost. But what just happened makes me love Vegeta that much more. And I think that's what Vegeta has done a very good job at. He's done a good job at winning the hearts of people who didn't like him before. Right. So if they follow that trend, which is, even though it's a common trend, especially in the Dragon Ball franchise, I would say that I would be okay with it. I would like that. As long as if I can love a character more, that's great. I just don't want to see Vegeta go down in a stupid way. I would like to see him go down with honor, because that's who he is as a character. But other than that, I don't see. If I were to just predict, I don't see Piccolo being there in the long term. I honestly don't see Gohan being there in the long term either.
Really?
It just depends. Honestly, this is a tough call. It just depends who they're really pushing for. And again, based on them introducing Frieza, it's pretty safe to say they're focusing on the market value. So it just depends if they want to give Gohan that big bang welcome back, or if they want to just give it to Vegeta for once and give him the spotlight. And even if Vegeta loses but goes down with honor, you can still technically say that they can still give Gohan a decent spotlight there, because Vegeta went down, but he went down in a way that you still appreciate him, and they can still at the same time give Gohan the spotlight if they chose to do that.
What do you think about this, Artemis?
Well, and just to relate to what Emish was saying, I actually think that Vegeta's going to go far, but I feel like Gohan, Piccolo, everybody's going to basically be eliminated, and I feel like the last three will probably be Frieza, Goku, and and Vegeta. So I mean,
wouldn't that be a sight to see?
If I had to pick like a final three on the team who would, you know, really pull through and make it through the tournament, it would be those three. Oh, actually, no, because 17, it depends what they do with Frieza. It depends what they do with Frieza, because 17 is as strong as a Super Saiyan Blue. So Android 17 would replace Frieza, depending on who's stronger.
Right.
But in relevance to Vegeta and how far he can make it into the tournament, I feel like every contender within the team has their pros and their cons. I feel like Android 17 doesn't have any tournament background. Piccolo, Tien, Roshi, Goku, they have tournament backgrounds. Vegeta doesn't have a tournament background. He participated in a tournament, but he never actually got to do his match because the whole thing with Babidi happened.
Then again, this isn't really a traditional Budokai kind of style. It's like a massive free for all. So it's like nobody really has that experience.
I would say.
Well, this is what I was getting to. What I was getting to is Vegeta might not have that experience, but Vegeta has the experience of, like, I guess I would say the volume of battle. So because the Saiyans are the type of race where they go to different planets and they eradicate all life on a planet in large volumes. If you're going to be sending an elite to a planet, there obviously has to be very powerful warriors there. So I feel like Vegeta in his youth probably has experienced wars and the volume of enemies that they're going to be. I mean, it's 80 people, right? So they're going to be experiencing a large amount of people coming at them from all sides, like you said, Alex. So I feel Vegeta probably has the experience in that. And I don't think because he hasn't participated in any tournament event, that's going to affect him negatively in any way. I feel like he'll still progress and go pretty far in the tournament, regardless of him not having any tournament setting, because you're not allowed to kill.
Right.
But you know, you're supposed to knock out the opponent out of the arena, right? Or until they're unable to battle.
Right.
So I feel like Vegeta definitely is gonna, you know, go far. But as for 17 and Golden and Frieza, it depends what they do with Frieza. It all depends on what they do with Frieza for me to replace the two. But Vegeta's definitely, I feel like Goku and Vegeta, especially after what he does in the time chamber, if they give him something good and they give him some time to shine, you know, well, not time to shine, Vegeta's had time to shine, but they give him a nice power boost, that would definitely solidify my answer. Like, it would just put it in concrete, you know?
I guess to an extent they kind of answered those questions during the Universe 6 battle, because everyone expected Goku to go far and he was the first one gone. And even though he was brought back on a technicality, it was still safe to say that Vegeta eliminated the most amount of people, which was impressive until it came down to the main event, which was leaked that it was going to be Hit Goku, even though nobody really knew as to how they were going to bring Goku back. Eventually, Vegeta had the spotlight in eliminating several characters, Vegeta, Cabba, and Frost, and then having to go up against Hit, he met his demise. In this situation, do you guys feel as if Vegeta is going to tap into a resource that Goku does not have, such as maybe key manipulation, key control, something that gives him the advantage over Goku in some way, shape, or form, even though Goku may have the power aspect packed down after he breaks past his limits? Do you see Vegeta having to tap into any other resource that Goku does not have the ability to tap into that might give him the edge?
Stamina.
Stamina. Why stamina?
I mean, I can base it from what I know from the manga. You know, it seems like, and from the manga perspective, Vegeta is mastering the Super Saiyan Blue form to where he can utilize it in a smart way in battle. So when he was fighting against Super Saiyan Rose Goku, Black Goku, he was transforming, he was letting out all of the Super Saiyan Blue power in single blows. He would transform to Super Saiyan Blue and then back down to Super Saiyan God, to Super Saiyan Blue, back down to Super Saiyan God. And he obviously learned from his mistake with Hit, where he was just abusing the form to the point where the form was kind of useless. I feel that if Vegeta masters his stamina, his stamina use, it'll make it a lot easier for him to get stronger, because he doesn't have to worry about, oh, how long can I keep using this form, or how can I use this form? How can I focus on being super offensive or managing my ki or this and that, when he has to focus on the biggest drawback of Super Saiyan Blue, which is the stamina. I mean, really, if you could think of a drawback to the form, the drawback of the form, as explained in the series, is the stamina consumption.
Right.
If you master the weakness, what is there, what's the weakness? Saiyans who train their tails eliminate that weakness. Goku eliminated that weakness with his tail, right? When he was younger, when people would grab his tail, it wouldn't affect him anymore. So why would you leave the weakness exposed? Train the weakness, and therefore you'll be. I mean, I'm not gonna say you'll be unstoppable, but you'll be nearly unstoppable. I mean, come on. What flaws will the form have if you train the weakness?
How do you feel about this, Amish?
I would say Vegeta already has something that separates him from Goku at this point, and it's something that we haven't seen for a long time. If we just take a look at what each of the fighters are fighting for, that alone, if they choose to take it from a storytelling perspective, and they build on that, I would say for the first time in a long time, Vegeta's actually fighting for his family. I'm pretty sure he's going to find out what's going on with the tournament, because again, if he goes to the room to sprint in time to train, that means he's gotten that's confirmation that he knows what's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? Because up until now, he still hasn't accepted to join the actual tournament of power. So it's safe to say that he's going to find out what happens. And we've seen him just a few episodes ago. We saw him changing his daughter's diapers so quick. Obviously, he's been in tune with her.
Right.
He didn't just learn how to change diapers right off the bat.
He's changed as a character. I mean,
right.
Throughout this entire show.
And it's been stated before, and before anybody says, "Oh, but he has a son," yeah, but he even said himself, he hasn't even held his own son since he was a baby, not even once when he was a baby back in the Majin Buu arc. That was stated already. So obviously, he wasn't very in tune with fatherhood, right? Which is disappointing because he had a father. He wasn't raised that way, but he had a father. He had a family. He had a whole clan and stuff like that. But now he's choosing to take things his own way, do things his own way, build his own kingdom. If they choose to take it from a storytelling perspective and they build up on that, right now the only thing pushing Goku is to get stronger. Ironically, that's what Vegeta used to want. And now Vegeta's fighting for his family. Ironically, that's what Goku used to do. So the scenarios are switched, and I feel like it goes back to what I mentioned before. I don't think it's not that they're going to give him a specific skill set or transformation or some kind of or anything like that. Vegeta's always been a very, very durable fighter. He can take hits. Yes, he does get put down, but he's taken some of the most gruesome beatings I've ever seen. If you go back to oh my goodness, Vegeta always gets his ass handed to him.
Oh hell
but he keeps coming back, and he just doesn't stop. But obviously here it's different because if you get thrown out the ring, it's a different story. But it just goes back to that. I think from in essence, he has something that is enough to make him stand out from the rest, just like Gohan's fighting for his daughter, for his family. So I think if we just look at what the characters are entering the tournament for, we can pretty much make a conclusion as to who will be the remaining three. If Frieza is in this tournament for immortality, like I said in another video, or or vengeance of some kind, it's pretty, evil never really prevails in this story. So it's safe to say he could be the fourth last fighter. Then you look at the top three fighters. Goku's the main character, so he has to be number one. You got Vegeta and Gohan both fighting for their families, both fighting for someone other than themselves, and we can just pretty much narrow it down from there.
I still think that Vegeta is going to be one of the top aggressors, because I think more so than before, I think his pride is definitely going to peak at this, because if you look at what he's up against, right? He's up against Hit, someone who knocked him out, in which we've never seen, I think, Vegeta knocked out or humiliated the way he was, especially being at the peak of power that he was, right? We also see the introduction of female Saiyans, Cabba, who looks up to Vegeta, and then we also see, even though he doesn't know about them, we see the Pride Troopers, who are also going to be in their own right supremely powerful. And I think being a part of this tournament, of course, Vegeta is going to be fighting for his family, but I also think that more or less, just like Goku, he's also going to be pushing himself to see if he can get stronger and fighting the best of the best. Will he come out on top? Probably not, and that's where I think Goku has the advantage, because even if Goku gets beat down in his Super Saiyan Blue form, Goku has one of two reserves. He has Kaioken, and he has whatever this other thing is going to be. And that's what gives Goku the advantage over everyone else. Even though he will be targeted way more than Vegeta, Goku still has that advantage when it comes down to power and technique. Even though as a fighter, it'll be very interesting to see how he's going to fare up against fighting 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 20 guys at once, because who's to say he doesn't get thrown out again the same way we saw during Universe 6. But I think that during all of this, like you said, Emish, if Vegeta does go down, I really hope that he goes down with pride and going down swinging, rather than the way he got humiliated last time, where he got knocked out in front of everybody, including his wife and his friends, even the person that he hates the most, Goku. And seeing him get humiliated, and then after watching Goku fight Hit, you saw the expression on his face, because even though he didn't know about what the time skip was, he still
surprised.
displayed anger upon seeing his rival being able to fare up against the same guy that knocked him out. But any final thoughts in terms of, you know, Vegeta and, you know, just the overall expectation level that you think he's going to bring into this tournament?
It's hype, man.
Hype?
I think as far as Team Universe 7, Vegeta is going to be the character I look forward to the most. Vegeta, because we already know what to expect from Goku, even though you don't essentially exactly know what's going to happen, like to a T. You know it's something that's going to be big. It's Goku, goddammit, right? But with Vegeta, he's just so unpredictable. We know he's the second strongest fighter on this tournament, but still, anything can happen with him. His dialogue, his character, his emotion in fights, stuff like that, all of that stuff really makes you, you know, it really pulls you into the episodes and stuff like that. So I just hope we don't get a repeat of Universe 6 and 7 tournament where he goes up against someone like Vegeta. Then apparently he does a Final Flash, and the Final Flash doesn't even knock Vegeta out the ring, because
that's if
we
he
know
even
what
has time to do moves like that.
Of course,
like,
yeah, of course. That's another thing. Exactly. So I just hope that this training that he does last minute it pays off, and I'm pretty sure that it will, man. We saw what he did to the hyperbolic time chamber last time. You know, maybe he'll do the same thing, just a little faster, right? He'll just wreck that thing, and then they have to rebuild it again. So I would like to see that again, actually. Him just blowing up the entire hyperbolic time chamber. That was so eye candy.
Yeah,
I loved it, man.
That was awesome. Artemis, do you have anything to add?
Same as Amish, man. I'm just hyped. I'm hyped for Vegeta to, you know, like you said, Vegeta is the second strongest. I think that, you know, with Vegeta's inclusion in the tournament and everybody's inclusion in the tournament, I feel like I want to see more team-based combat. So I'm personally excited to see combinations, or like you know, teamwork. You know, Piccolo and Gohan said they were going to work on some combo attacks. I want to see that. I want to see. I mean, I don't know how people feel, but me personally, I'm accepting, you know, Frieza's coming back. I want to see, you know, Frieza and Goku of all people do some combos, or, you know, like it's one of those moments where it's ironic that you're working really well with your arch nemesis. So for Goku and Vegeta, I mean, for Goku and Frieza, who were at one point where, you know, super freaking, they were furious. Their battle was insane. Now they're allies, and, you know, they're forced to work with each other.
Right.
And the fact that they're going to be fighting, like, I just want to see them work together. So we're so used to seeing them apart. It's just so hype when it's like, oh my God, they're, you know, they're on the same team. Holy shit. I mean, we're used to it with Vegeta and stuff, because Vegeta, you know, used to be a bad guy, became a good guy.
Right.
But Frieza has never, ever been seen as a good guy, ever. You know, no one can picture that. I don't think anybody ever will. Frieza is just too iconic of a villain to be turned over to the good side. But the fact that they can work together is just what I'm most hype about. I'm really hype about that. I really am.
There are lots of expectations for several characters, and I just really hope that they marinate this instead of just rushing it, because I think it's safe to say that this summer we're going to get like a blockbuster fight, because everyone's been complaining about too much dialogue.
Yeah.
That's going to be over and done with once we see them actually enter this thing, because I really can't see a single episode go without someone having to get their head smashed in. But if you guys would like to post your comments down below as to what you guys believe, let us know down below on your overall thoughts on Vegeta. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe and check out Devil Artemis and Emish's live down in the description below, guys. If you guys enjoyed, slap a like on the video. Tune back in for more. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll be seeing you all in the next discussion video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.